Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and it is March 6th, and we are in the Season of the Drifter. Now, I'm a day late in the videos because I was on Twitch yesterday playing as much as I could of both Gambit Prime and The Reckoning. Now, those two modes have their own little loop. They're kind of connected to each other in a cool way. So I'm actually going to do those in a separate video. So if you guys are looking for specific information about that, I will post that in a separate video, kind of explaining the loop, the synths, the armor, the sets, and how they tie into each other and what that loop is like. That's going to be its own thing. I don't need to cover all that in here. But just stay tuned on the channel. It will be coming. This is going to cover changes to the overall season. There's a couple changes to certain activities. There's ways that you're going to be looking at leveling up. So I do want to cover all those for you guys and help you out as much as possible in your general grind for trying to get to 700 power, which is the new max level. And also, if somebody who doesn't have the annual pass can go to the Drifter and let me know in the comments, there are bounties now that you can get a full set of armor and weapons, like 8 pieces, that will be 640 power level. I just don't know, and the wording was a little odd, if they're included in the without the annual pass for everyone, or if you have to have the annual pass for those bounties. They're at the Drifter, so just let me know. But if you do have the annual pass especially, and maybe you just took a little break or didn't play as much or didn't get max level, go hit those bounties. They will get you 640 power level in like the most basic of activities. I think it's like 2 public events, 3 bounties, like a strike, a crucible match, and a gambit match. And you should basically be 640 power level. So if you're not 640, go do those first. They're the 4 bounties at the Drifter. Top 4 power boost bounties. Look those up. They are really a good thing to do. Once you're 640, or if you're 650 like me going into the new season, you're looking for all your powerful gear stuff. So let's start at the Director first. But I will have timestamps as you've seen them on screen the whole time. You can jump around the video, jump to the sections. If you don't care about Eververse, you can go forward. So all of those pieces will be in there. But let's start with the Director, and I'll show you guys everything we've got going on for this week and some of this season. Alright Guardians, so we are in the Director here, and the new information for Gambit will be in the Gambit submenu. But as always for my weekly reset video, let's cover it in order. First, we've got the Flashpoint. It is on Titan. This one goes pretty quickly. Public events are simple. So either the tanks or the Witch's Ritual, they're on a pretty decent rotation. Those are good to do. But the Heroic Adventure, don't skip this one. For one, it gets you a piece of powerful gear. And 2, it's also going to be giving you a huge chunk of percentage towards your Flashpoint. Now, one thing to remember, things like your daily Heroic Adventure, your daily story mission or strike or whatever, your Flashpoint, they don't give you a huge boost in level anymore. It's going to be like 1 to 2 max. So those are going to be small little increments. Things towards more of the Dreaming City, the new Gambit bounties, maybe the powerful gear from the Forge, like that type of stuff is supposed to, I think at least my understanding, I've got to go through and check, give you a higher boost in level. So if like Flashpoint gives me a 651 item, maybe, you know, the Forge stuff is going to give me a 653 or 4, like a few more levels than just 1. Because if you got 1 level for everything the whole time, it would be really slow. Now, Prime engrams do drop about 4 or 5 higher than you, maybe 6. I've had somewhere in that realm 4 to 6 points higher. So those are definitely going to be something you're looking for, and that's just, again, general playtime. So the more you are playing and doing some of these new activities, it will help. But your Flashpoint on Titan should be an easy thing to knock out. Don't forget about the Cargo Bay 3 Lost Sector. 10% for each run in here, and you literally can run in, kill the big giant ogre, and you're good to go. So it goes really quick if you're killing him. So if you're waiting on a public event, you've already done your adventure, do a couple of those, and by the time you do that, probably a public event will show up. So that's a good one to do. For the Vanguard, we've got daily heroic story missions, your heroic adventures as well, and then your strikes having the same modifiers of Solar Singe all week long. Yesterday was actually Brawler, so it is a triple Brawler week, but as of this point, we're going to have Heavyweight today, tomorrow's going to be Grenadier, and then Brawler on Friday, then Thursday, sorry. Tuesday was Brawler, Wednesday, which is today, is Heavyweight, Thursday is going to be Grenadier, and then Friday it starts the rotation back over. So your days for Heavyweight, which are generally my favorite, are going to be Wednesday, today, and then Saturday as well. So those are your 2 ones to have some fun with your Sleepers, your Whispers, all that fun stuff. Shout out to Sleeper and Whisper who did get a nerf in their ammo reserves. That is going to be a bit of a change to things for sure. Just have to see how that handles some things. But yeah, Solar Singe all week and Heavyweight both Wednesday and Saturday. Those are going to be your fun days to do some stuff. Now, Nightfalls are going to be their own chunk. That's why I have their own timestamp for it. Now, Nightfalls themselves, we've got Strange Terrain, which is going to be One of the strikes a lot of people are grinding for the Braytech Osprey rocket launcher just to complete your collections. So if you still haven't spent some time in here, I would advise, trying to collect that thing. Savathun's Song is definitely another piece that has been around for a while. So if you don't have Duty Bound, that is the auto rifle that drops from here. And the Will of the Thousands actually doesn't have major piece of collections. It's just the Worm God incarnation. It's a transmat effect. So of the two, I would probably grind Strange Strain first, just because that one seems the hardest to get. And then the Duty Bound auto rifle if you still need that for any collection sake. Now, there have been some changes to the Nightfall itself, and those are what I want to cover. When you go to the challenge card, you're going to notice your power handicap has changed drastically. Normally, if I ran something like this last season, like a Singe, Heavyweight, Match Game, and Blackout, I'd be like a 5-point modifier. You'll notice this is now down to 2. So what has happened is, if you run a 110-point modifier, which you were before, so if I'm 650, it takes me down to 540. It's harder to do a 100,000 point run now is basically what I'm going to say, because to get up to those points where you can actually really do that, you have to set this up to a 160 point modifier to get a 4.05. Now at a 4, you should be able to get 100,000 points on just about every strike. I'm pretty sure I've done it before. But to run a 160 point modifier, you need to be about 700. So you might be able to get close to that. Some strikes are easier to get points on than others. I think Will of the Thousands is a decent one for points. I'd have to go look and see where some of my solo records are, and that can kind of give me an idea of where the points are at. But generally, the 100,000 point run is going to be harder to get. So what my advice is, don't worry about the 100,000 points for now. Don't run a modifier that's going to work against you, because the points are going to be harder. Literally, turn it down to 110 if you're 650, or literally just match your level, and it honestly isn't going to matter right now because you're not going for points. Excuse me. So turn it down to whatever you think you can handle if you're 650, or turn it down to a 50-point modifier and don't worry about the points, and just run a Singe, run Heavyweight, a Singe that's going to match the Nightfall, and work on getting one piece of powerful gear, because getting 100,000 points for probably a few weeks is going to be difficult depending on how your leveling grind goes. As you get closer and closer to 700, if you're 685, you could try it and see with a 3.5 modifier how it goes. If you're running 695, you're probably getting pretty close. You could probably knock out 100,000 points. But as I'm 651, something like that, probably not going to happen this week. So I may try it later just to see what the points are like, and just be hey, this is a 33,000 point run, because that's what I got. But for now, don't worry about the 100,000 points on the modifiers, because it is going to be really, really difficult to do. So that 100K weekly challenge, that one may sit there for a couple of weeks unless you just have an amazing team and can knock it out. Esoteric may solo it tomorrow, I don't know, but generally I think this is still going to be difficult to do for at least a little while. Probably a few weeks, unless you're just power grinding, rating every character. I mean, some people are up to 667 on day 1, which means they probably did everything they possibly could, rated everywhere, and that's 667. So getting up to 690 for the normal person, it's going to take a little while. So just know that 100,000 points is going to be a little bit. Now we've got Gambit. This is where the new menu, I knew they were going to have a sub-menu. I also do like the picture in the background. The Drifter's ship actually does look pretty cool. So you have your standard Gambit. You've got your daily match. You've got your weekly 3 matches. Those are good to do. Just to knock them out, get a couple drops of powerful gear. Again, these probably aren't going to be big drops. These are 1 or 2 power levels, probably max over what you're at. Now, the new stuff is going to be Gambit Prime and the Reckoning. Now, I will talk about these in a separate video, but the general idea is you play Gambit Prime and you get these things called synths. There's little tokens. And then when you do that, and your first time you do that, you'll go back to the Drifter, you get this little mini bank in your inventory. And what you do is you put the synth into the bank and you get this little moat that pops out for a certain set of armor. Say it's the Sentry set. What I'm going to do is then go to the Reckoning. There's a larger bank that I deposit, and I basically wager my token, or my moat, sorry. I wager my moat that I'm going to complete this activity, and then if I do that, it pops me out a piece of gear of that set. Right now, it's dropping 20 power levels below, but there are bounties that seem to be dropping 1 higher level piece. But you can grind out sets, which do help you in Gambit Prime, because those sets will give you benefits that actually work specifically in there. And this is going to be the private matches. Normal Gambit is the only thing in here. I think Gambit Prime private matches come in about a month, something like that. But yeah, the loop between Gambit Prime, getting the synths, going to the Reckoning, betting your synths, finishing the PvE kind of horde mode activity, You get the piece of armor, and then you come back into Gambit Prime. Once you have enough sets of that armor, it's going to make you more powerful. Right now, Reckoning Tier 1 is the only one available, and that gets you Tier 1 armor, which is like +1 to a stat type. Basically, what it takes is there are 4 perks, and it's like +3, +6, +10, and +15 that you need for a certain set. If I'm wearing 3 pieces of the Reaper, which is the one to kill the ads, if I'm wearing 3 pieces of that armor, it's going to give me the first perk. But I have to have 15 points to get that final awesome perk. And the way you're going to be able to get that, is my assumption, is Tier 2 is going to have +2 on the new armor because it's got a different name. And then +3 that opens in about a week and a half from now, so next Friday. When that opens up, you'll finally be able to get that full Tier 3 set. If you have all 5 pieces, you'll be able to have +15. And if you run the full set, you'll have like all the Gambit perks for that type of playstyle. So it's a cool loop. There's a lot to grind for. If you have 3 characters, or if you want even if you have 1 character and you want all sets, that's still 20 pieces of gear because there are 4 different sets. And then if you're looking for rolls and stuff like that, it's going to be a while to get that like perfect set. But the perks are pretty cool. I'll cover those more in the Gambit Prime Reckoning video and explain what those are all about. Crucible this week is a good place to be as well. You've got Mayhem, and honestly, it's just a lot of fun. Go in there, blow some stuff up, use your supers, use heavy, have some fun. And again, 1 daily match and 1 powerful gear from 5 matches. This will go pretty quick because Mayhem is actually their fast matches. So enjoy this time. It's just to burn off some steam. If you're having frustration in Gambit Prime, take a breather, go play a Gambit match or 2, blow some stuff up, use the super you haven't in a little while, have some fun, goof off. It's a good way to blow off some steam. We'll get to the Tangled Shore, but again, like the wanted bounty there is still going to be important. Dreaming City, we'll cover that stuff as well. I'm not quite sure the level of the drops in there. I will have to test that. If you guys are doing Escalation Protocol or still missing anything there, all 3 items can drop. Now, I know shotguns got nerfed. The full auto got nerfed. But the shotgun from here is still solar, which is going to serve you benefits in multiple places with Gambit, especially. It is still got Trench Barrel on it, which is powerful. And the damage did get increased on some of these things. They just can't have that full auto crazy mode. But if you're missing any of these, you can get the shotgun, the SMG, and the sniper. All 3 are available. So just keep that in mind if you're missing anything. There's reasons to complete your collection. So if you're looking for any of them, they're all available this week. Now let's go talk to a couple of vendors. I'm going to start at Eververse. But if you guys don't care about Eververse and just want to see a couple other ones, I'll try and kind of put the timestamps on screen in a couple spots so you guys can jump ahead if you want to. So let's go to Tess and see what these things look like for this week and month and season. All right, Guardians, so we are here at Tess. If you guys want to jump ahead, I'm going to do a deep dive into the Bright Engram, some of the new exotics that we can get, cover some of the bundles, and show you guys what all we've got here. If you do want to skip over on Tess, I'll put the timestamp on screen so you guys can jump over, and then I'll hit some of the new weapons that you guys can grind for in other places. So let's see what we've got. The Notorious Engram is the new Bright Engram for Season 6. For armor, the sets are pretty lackluster. The Wolf chest on the Hunter, actually just by picture, kind of looks the coolest. So maybe the Hunters win this season, but all of them look pretty low-key. The Titan looked like it had some orange on it, but all in all, anything that I would say is like, hey, these look really cool. Pretty low-key and chill, I think, this season. Ornaments, I'm not going to show you all of them. You guys can come in here and click on them. But you've got the Last Word, Prospector looking bright orange, Vigilance Wing kind of having a cool look to it for Saint 14, Wardcliff Coil, which is a giant white nose on it, Rat King that has been covered in ice. You've got the Colony, which is kind of black and red look, kind of looks cool. Cerebus 1, definitely a cleaner aesthetic. Looks like the gun was actually made properly. My favorite, I do have to show you, is the Red String of Fate. And that's this guy right here. It looks too awesome. It's the Malfeasance, looks amazing. I love the detail, the engraving, the glow, the red thread. Whoever did that model absolutely crushed it. And the Chaperone 1, pretty clean, just basically dark. Now, you have armor ornaments here for some of the new exotics. We've got a couple names of new exotic, the Liar's Handshake for Hunters, Stronghold for the Titans, and then the Getaway Artist for the Warlocks. So, depends on what class you're on, but these are some of the new exotics. I have no idea what they look like because they're brand new. Hateful Wish for the helm on the Warlock. Just had to show it off because I think that face looks really, really cool. And that is going to be your Skull of Dire Kara for you Slova bombs out there. This one's going to look pretty fun to run around with. For the let's see. For the ghost shells, you got a couple cool ones. You got the Sunshot shell, literally likes the gun in ghost form, which is hilarious. You've got the Plasma shell, which also looks cool. I kind of want this one just because it's actually really animated and nice and interesting to look at. And then you've got the Hissing Silence shell. Now, the Hissing Silence, I would assume, is a reference to the snakes and Gambit and all that. And a snake just being some kind of a traitor. We'll just kind of see where the story goes. But you'll also notice you have the symbols of the 9 popping through here in the middle. And there's that whole emissary and the drifter talking to each other in like the trailer. There's something going on with those two, and I have no idea what it is. But the idea here is this one actually shows the symbols of the 9. It actually looks like the emissary world and stuff like that. So interesting stuff with this one. Honestly, just kind of cool. For ghosts to have meditated beyond the helipause. No idea what that means, but the symbols of the 9 are there, so it's very interesting. There's some funky ghost shell like designs here as well. You guys can dig into those if you like. We've got emotes, a couple cool ones. You've got the chair pop, literally pop out a chair and sit down. Pretty simple stuff, nothing crazy. Then you've got your chicken dinner. It's for winners, so winner, winner, chicken dinner. 2 chickens, a beverage, and then shake it off. It's actually pretty cool, kind of funny. It's like finish it up. All right, I'm good to go. Sweet, I'm ready. And then we've got the rock out. So instead of your calm guitar before, this is the absolute rock out, smash the guitar, jump around, act like an absolute crazy. It's pretty cool, though. And then we've got cup of tea. This, I think, is a lost opportunity because I think the thumb should be pointed out here. Just to really be that fancy tea drinker, I want that pinky up. So that would have been funny to see. There's a couple other emotes in here. There's some cool ones. I'm not going to dig through all of those as usual. Sparrows, a couple cool ones. The one in the background looks like it's got a racing roll cage on it. So that's interesting. Another inspired idea. This one looks like half of a jet engine on the back. And then like a tuning fork or weird vented thing in the front. It's just like an odd combination. So just kind of strapped together. But the one, the Praxic Finery, this one I will have to get. It just looks too glorious and fancy. And it just really matches the, I think it's the wings of, Vesper Wings of Radius. Whatever the Warlock armor is. I think this is what this reminds me of. So probably something very close to that. Ships. Pretty lackluster. This one in the background kind of has a somewhat similar feel to, I think, one of those exotic ones previously. And then you've got the threat display. I feel like just somebody was like, hey, let's slap a color scheme on this one. I've seen better exotic ships this season. They're pretty lackluster in general. You've got shaders and mods in here as well. And you've got your featured items of just so you can see what's up there. Bright dust purchases that you can do. Of course, most of this is everything you guys can look through. You've got the grooving. He's got tunes. Awaken the Warmind you've seen. The Panama Ramin, that's the chaperone, basically just cleans it up, makes it look very militaristic. You do have a couple bundles, though. The Gravitational Effects bundle. They have said specifically there are going to be some bundles with exclusive things. So this ornament, for example, the General Relativity, I don't know if it can drop anywhere else besides this bundle because it's not in the engrams, so I don't think it's actually anywhere else. So if you do like this one, you probably are going to have to pay for it. But again, it's cosmetic. It doesn't change your game. The option is up to you. The other one, a Guardian's Best Friend bundle. For one, it has this jade coin effect that I kind of like. It's pretty cool. But as I am a dog owner, I have 2 huskies. I might have to get it just for this one. Just so you guys can actually see the emote from a side here. Holding a treat up. Try and make him do something. He just throws it down. Bounces off his head. And he goes away. So nothing crazy there, but it's actually a dog emote. Thought it was actually pretty cool. So that's just my thing. And that pretty much wraps up tests. So now let's go on to some other vendors and see what changes we've got to look at. All right, Guardians. So here at Zavala, you've got your bounties, of course, that if you guys are working on. And again, if you're working on your bounties, still haven't finished up for, say, like I haven't, Danger After Dark for your Nightshade. This should still be out here. Then, of course, Loaded Questions should still be there, but we have a new one. So the new one is going to be for the Oxygen SR3, and the triumph that you have to complete is the best offense. So let's go ahead and look here at triumphs for Vanguard. And the best offense is as follows. You need 1,000 precision final blows, and that's going to be Nightfall strikes grant the most progress for the strike completion. So completing Nightfalls doesn't matter points, you just have to finish them. So crank that handicap way down and just knock them out. But just in strikes, in any strike activity, land precision final blows, generate orbs of light, and complete activities. So depending on your percentage, if you knock out the final blows quicker, then you might want to switch over to Nightfalls. But this one actually seems pretty reasonable and something, if you do some strikes in there, should be able to knock this one out pretty much over time at some point. And that is going to get you the new Oxygen SR3 Scout Rifle. That is going to have the precision shots, like increase the damage of Dragonfly. I don't know if it increases the explosion. I was watching Holtzman last night. He actually said it only stacks up to 3 times. I wish it was more, so you could actually really pump some damage into a boss and then just go absolutely insane on like one mini guy and just have this awesome explosion, but you know, so sad. But that is one you'll definitely want to pick up. And even if you're holding it and you abandon it for some reason, it would be sitting waiting over here. I was actually testing that because I was like, what if I don't want it sitting in my inventory until the best offense is done? Well, if you abandon it and if your inventory is full, going to be right here in Abandoned Quest. It'll be sitting here waiting for you. This is also the new emblem, Determination. Tracks the number of heroic story missions completed. And you'll get this one from the Season 6 combat required. So you've also got Season 6 completions required for this new service revolver. It's a 180 hand cannon with Outlaw, Zen Moment. You've got armor-piercing rounds, the True Sight, and Crossfire. So a decent hand cannon. Not what I would call a game breaker or anything, but it is a hand cannon you can earn. Everything else should be pretty much the same. Now let's go look at Shaxx. Alright, Guardians, we are here at Shaxx. Not too much has changed, but we do have a couple new things. You've got the Last Perdition. This is a pulse rifle. It's got Rampage and Rangefinder. It's got a range masterwork on it. You've got accurized rounds or tactical mag, so pretty decent reload speed. The range is decently up there. And a couple scopes that really can boost the range but give up the handling. Could be a decent pulse rifle if you do actually max out the range with rangefinder as well. This thing could be definitely putting in some work if you enjoy your pulse rifles. May, if I ever get it, have a chance to try it out, but I'm not sure. But the new one, From the Mouths of Babes. Complete the Triumph, the Stuff of Myth, and your reward is the Recluse. This is going to be your Crucible Pinnacle weapon. This is the new submachine gun. So if you go into Triumphs here, go into Crucible, and we go to Growling Rank, Glory Ranks, I can't talk. The Stuff of Myth. In Crucible, win matches and earn Glory Rank Fabled. So you got to get Fabled rank no matter what. Now your wins can come from anywhere. Competitive and Iron Banner matches grant the most efficient progress on your wins. I think I did a few matches of what was I doing yesterday? Mayhem. So I think I maybe won like 3 out of the 5 that I played, and I'm at like 4%. So it'd be a lot of matches normally. So if you win Iron Banner, that could move your matches along. And if you don't, if the Fabled ranks gets there and the wins are slower, maybe Iron Banner's a way to boost this one up. So there are multiple ways to get this, but you will have to go Fabled and Glory for sure to be able to get this one. So it's that 2,100 points. So that really hasn't changed too much, but you can get the wins in a couple of different places. So now let's go head over into the other side of the tower. I'm going to talk about Hawthorn, and then we'll head down below. I'll show you where things are at. So Hawthorn has changed up a little bit, actually. So we've got the clan bounties, which will be 1 PvE, 1 PvP, and then 1 raid. And these are pretty much going to be here all the time. And then once you get far enough along, which will be if you get tier 6, I guess, of clans, which will take like 6 weeks, then the other weekly bounty will unlock, which is going to be related to Gambit. Not entirely sure why this one's out here this far, but oh well. Would have been nice to see 4, since you have 4 different kind of modes of play that they're trying to go after here. Make a 5th one for a little extra. But these are, that one's going to be for powerful gear, so unlocking that one will be nice for a bonus. And playing Gambit, you'll probably be doing that a lot anyway this season. But Nightfall Strike with clanmates, Crucible matches with clanmates, and a raid with any raid with clanmates. So those will actually be a good thing to knock out. Now the daily bounties have gone away. Basically it goes back to any activities that you are doing will unlock your progress. So if you're looking at clan progress here, my clan that I'm in, we're at 72,000. I haven't done any on this character before, but it's just literally anything you do, whether it's like Nightfall Strikes or Crucible matches, missions, or whatever it is, little things that you do level this up constantly, and it's back to it was kind of towards the beginning. I think it was Destiny 2 year 1, I think, was doing it that way. Just activities and just doing things will get you your personal contribution. You don't have to worry about the specific bounties. So that is a better change for sure. Just don't forget about your engrams up here. They are definitely going to be helping you out. All right, so from here, I want to show you guys where the Drifter is at. He moved. He's not over there in his little under grate area. He's actually down in the annex down here. Now, I'm not going into the full quest right now. I'm going to do that on the character and actually show you guys all the pieces of what it takes to get into Gambit Prime and get into Reckoning. So I'm going to show you guys where all that stuff's at. I just wanted to show you where he was. So you land down there. So it's literally your first right. and he's tucked in here in this room. He's got a Gambit bait. You can talk to him, and it's honestly going to be the full quest line, so I'm going to do that in a separate video, but that's where he's at for you guys. He gives you the incentive to go into Gambit Prime, do all that type of stuff, and then once you do Gambit Prime first match, you'll get your first synth. There's some bounties to pick up, and it's just this kind of loop. So I'm going to go through that with you guys in a separate video. Ada1, on the other hand, let's see what she has.
Stay a while and enjoy our wares.
So remember, these powerful frames can drop as powerful gear, so these will help you level up. We've got the auto rifle, which is going to be the ringing nail, the sword frame, which is apparently amazing with surrounded, if you can actually get all the perks on it, and that's a Tara Gay sniper rifle, which is also pretty decent. I've seen some people put some sniping work in with that as well. So you've got one of each slot. Actually, no, these are both energy weapons, so I take that back. No kinetics this week, so that's not really going to help you for the leveling on that slot. But remember, if you're looking for bounties and looking for your forges, all that stuff is up there. And of course, if you guys have some mods, you need to get some, components, things like that, it's a good time to pick some up, mod components as well, depending on what you've got. So all that being said, let's go to Spider and see what we've got before we wrap this thing up. Alright, Guardians, so here at Spider, we've got the Combustor Valis weekly bounty, and this is going to be with Brother Vance. So it's actually going to be on Mercury. There's only one lost sector, so he's pretty easy to find. So make sure you pick this one up. Again, powerful gear, definitely going to be beneficial. If you need to grind out those ghost fragments, again, go do public events, open chests, things like that. Or it's public events, high value targets, things like that. So open those. It only takes 5 for this bounty. So this is your way to get at least another piece of powerful gear in case you had forgotten about it. This one's pretty easy to knock out, and there's only one lost sector on Mercury, so it's pretty straightforward. So I've got a video over that if you guys are looking for it as well. Just search it, you'll find it. Finally, to Petra. Alright, Guardians, to wrap this up, we are in Dreaming City Curse Week 2. Petra is right here on the corner.
My will to fight is only getting stronger. We won't be worn down.
So this week we've got the Oracle Engine. This is where you fight the 2 ogres. That's going to get you some powerful gear. Also, War for the Dreaming City. Complete your 8 daily bounties, so definitely start knocking that one out early in the week and get at least a few daily bounties done per character so you don't get to the end of the week and you can't finish it up. Got your Ascendant Challenge for powerful gear as well. I will get that video up separately, but you guys can look for that one. The Ascendant Challenge this week is going to be in the Spine of Carries, and it's going to be way out here. So if you're in the Devilian Mists, you go through the blue tunnel, through the observatory, and it's way out here on this rock out here, and it's the one we have to climb vertically with kind of just the rocks that are broken all over the place. So it's not a bad one to do. Just take something powerful and like a big one-off super where you can do some damage, and you'll knock that one out pretty quickly. Daily bounties as well, pretty easy to knock out. Patrols, public events, defeat enemies. This one says in the Blind Well. And then Aphelian's Rest and the challenge Secret of Secrets. So 2 hidden objectives. Usually that's like a couple hidden chests or something like that. So that basically will wrap up this video. I'm going to do one for the Ascendant Challenge for this week as I usually do. And then I will do a separate video for Gambit Prime and Reckoning. That one will probably be tomorrow just to make sure I've got time to do it right. So look for that one tomorrow. And of course, if you guys have not seen on the channel, I will be on Destiny's Community Podcast tomorrow night. So it's going to be Thursday, March 7th. If you want to go, it's 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be on that podcast with all the awesome people on there. So you've got Miss 5000 Watts, Holtzman, Tefty Teft, Briar Rabbit, Pope Bear. It's an amazing crew over there. So honestly, can't wait to do that one. I've been excited since I've known about it, and I finally get to do it. And I'm going to have my face on there. So finally going to get the face cam going for some of these Twitch streams and things like that. So you guys will get to see me live. So all of that wrapped up into one weekly reset crazy bundle. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, excuse me, drop a like below. If you got a comment, question about anything, leave it below. I will try and answer you guys all as much as I can. You guys know where to find me. It's Twitch, Twitter, Ebontis on both of those, and right here on YouTube. If you haven't subbed, please do so. I've got more content coming for you for this season. Lots to talk about the Drifter, the armor sets, and everything else. So I will see you all soon. Enjoy your week, your grind, and your new season of Destiny 2 in between all these other crazy games we have going on. I'll see you soon. Have fun.